we'll go ahead and get started. For those of you who don't know, that's a tool called Poll Everywhere, which if you want or interested in using it, it's polleverywhere.com. There is a free account that has some limitations, but we have a couple of those polls throughout this presentation, so if the handout I gave out at the beginning, if you want to participate with your phones or other mobile devices, you can use those directions to do so. This session is Social Media, Basics for Program Promotion and Community Building. I'm Zenny Colorado. This is Mark Childress. I wanted to talk a little bit about what this session is. And I'm going to give you a look at some websites here. And what you're noticing is the little icons at the bottom of the screen. Different websites start having these icons, social networking tool icons. This is the local paper in Emporia, Kansas. And this is for Hays State, so you may see your institution up here. But our Emporia State University website does not have those icons. So this session has developed because if you notice on that poll at the beginning of the session, most of you were putting up personal types of things that you do with social networking tools. So we have at our university, we seem to be having a little bit of a disconnect on what you can do with social networking tools. In the Instructional Design Technology Department, we have an online program, a graduate, fully online program. So we started using some social networking tools to build community, to get our students to connect outside of the classroom and get to know each other that way. And what we started finding was that we were promoting our program in that way. We were connecting with our students. We were building a network with external parties. And what you've seen with the media, not only on websites, but I know that on NBC News Nightly, at the end of their program, they flash all the different Twitter, Facebook, where you can find and become a fan, those kinds of things. Social networking tools, or social media, have become a marketing tool, a promotion tool. And our institution doesn't see that. They see it as a personal hobby, something to do during your spare time. And in fact, we had an email go out not too long ago about spam and using your ESU email address for personal types of things like Facebook. And remember, don't use your ESU email address for those types of things. And in our department, we use it to keep up with our students and to promote our program. So it's a problem, and we wanted to promote the fact that you can use these tools for professional reasons. And it's not just a personal thing anymore. So what we'd like to do is, for those of you who don't use social networking tools, and I did see one comment on there that says that they'd like to stay off the grid, which is perfectly fine. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about what the basics. What is social networking, and how is it impacting our world today? And this goes back to a little bit about the digital nation discussion we had in the opening session the other day. So some of you know this diagram. 1996, before, it used to be that the web was just a place to go to find information, and there was very little user content, very little that we actually submitted to publish on the web. We had to learn HTML in order to be published on the web. So Web 2.0 came about, and now there's much more interaction. And that's 2006. I'm sure that's the user-generated content is much more. In a nutshell, this is a nice quick video on what social networking is.
Networks get things done. Whether it's sending a letter or lighting your home, networks make it happen. To get from Chicago to Santa Fe, we need to see the network of roads that will get us there. We see that Chicago is connected to St. Louis, which is connected to Dallas, which is connected to Santa Fe. Of course, people networks can help us with finding jobs, meeting new friends, and finding partners. You know how it works. Bob is your friend, and he knows Sally, and Sally's friend Joe has a job for you. This is a network of people, a social network. Yay! The problem with social networks in the real world is that most of the connections between people are hidden. Your network may have huge potential, but it's only as valuable as the people and the connections that you can see. Boo! This problem is being solved by a type of website called a social networking site. These websites help you see connections that are hidden in the real world. Here's how it works. You sign up for a free account and fill out your profile. Then you look for people you know. When you find someone, you click a button that says Add as Friend. Once you do this, you and that person have a connection on the website that others can see. They are a member of your network, and you are a member of theirs. What's really cool is that you can see who your friends know and who your friends' friends know. You're no longer a stranger, so you can contact them more easily. This solves a real-world problem because your network has hidden opportunities. Social networking sites make these connections between people visible. Like a map for a highway, they show you the people network that can help you get to your next destination, whether it's a job, a new partner, or a great place to live. Your network is suddenly more useful. You can get started at these sites: LinkedIn, Facebook, and MySpace. I'm Lee Lefevre, and this has been Social Networking in Plain English on the Common Craft Show.
And you wondered what the UPS guy does on the side.
So social media tools, social networking tools. Here's another poll. Your use of social networking tools. Feel free to use your devices. I'll give you a couple minutes. So the majority of us have more than one social networking tool account. Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, each one serves various reasons. So there's a report, a 2009 report about social media and young adults. And you can find it at this URL. But 73% of wired teens use social networking sites. Young adults, 18 to 29, 72%. And 47% of adults, and I think that includes young adults too, use social networking sites. So more and more people are getting on Facebook, getting on these different sites, and they're becoming more prevalent. In fact, as far as advertising, it's a big deal. And some of you may have seen this next video. It's a version of Did You Know? Some of you may have seen 3.0. This is actually version 4.0 regarding social media. And it really looks at, and I know some of my students have seen this already, so forgive me. powerful statistics there. And that was made in 2009. So it's a little dated. So again, with the impact of social networking tools, why not use it to promote your department? Why not use it as a marketing tool, in addition to community building with your students? So there are two different things we're talking about here. Reaching the community of online students out there that you can't see face-to-face on a daily basis, but also using it to promote what you do. Again, at our university, and you know, it's a work in progress. We just have to convince them it's a tool. I sit on the what's it called? The cross-campus marketing committee. I'm not even sure what it's called. But it's representative from each college, teachers college, business college. And we get together and talk about the vision for marketing at our university. And talk about using social networking tools. Do we have a Facebook account that we can keep people informed about, reach out to our alumni? And the one person who uses it, nobody knows who administers the account. And they're like, so, you know, we don't have any control over the content that people put up there. Well, most of the content now on Facebook and everything is user-generated, so it's just something you're going to have to let go and, you know, let people feel like they have a voice. But we seem to be having a control issue over content. Because we couldn't get our university to buy into a youtube.edu account and do some things like that, in our department we started moving out on our own. You'll notice that stuff is not on our overall university website, but we put together some things for our department. And Dr. Childress is going to talk a little bit about what we've done there.
Yeah, so academic freedom is very powerful. So we found that our marketing people, and you know, this is being broadcast. Hello, everybody. Hope some people aren't watching, because last time I did something like this, I got a death threat from somebody. So, we found that basically our marketing people don't have a vision; they're just totally blind. So they have no clue, and unfortunately, they're letting our university council make all the rules. This goes way back to, I have a lot of hard feelings and bitterness towards some of those folks, because we tried to get iTunes University even before Fort Hays had it, and basically our attorney gave us back 10 pages of notes to the iTunes contract for Apple that she wanted Apple to change. Yeah, that's real realistic. So, and then much to Fort Hays' credit, I think they were the first university in Kansas to go on to iTunes University, and much of it is because the Fort Hays president basically ignored the university council and said, "We're going to do it." And really, I was told things like, you can't click on the acceptable user agreement, because you're violating Kansas state law when you do that, when you install anything on your computer. Well, where would we be if we couldn't click that little button when we install software? And again, we tried to do things the right way, go through the proper channels. Again, I tried to do the proper channels with just putting a blog up. Originally we were going to put WordPress or something. Can we get access on our server? No, you can't. Or you'll have to go through 3 months of committees before we do that. Same thing with YouTube University, YouTube EDU. Over a year, I guess it's the day it came out, I sent a note to our media people and said, or our marketing, and said, we need to do this. How much does it cost? Nothing. 6 months later, or 3 months later, I send another email. Nothing happened. 6 months later, no email, nothing's happened. A year later, I send an email and I copy some people up above, and I get our marketing person comes in my office ready to have my head. because the vice president jumps on him and says, "Why haven't you done this?" Well, it goes back to the attorney. Then the next comment is, "Well, who's going to own the content?" You know, and then the other question is, "Who's going to put content up?" And it's like, well, you want content? We got content. We'll put content up, and we still have nothing to this day, a YouTube EDU account. And I still say iTunes will be defunct before we ever even get an account like that. So we just said, forget it. We'll do it ourselves. And so actually, first one on the left there is actually a student, Aaron Sumner, who's for Kansas University, was a student in our program, and he was getting near the end of this program. He said, I'm interested in social networking, and I really want to take a look at it. And so we just said, go for it. So Aaron actually created this Ning site through Ning. So we, the first primary reason was to create a connection to our students. Because we're at a university that eliminates the student's email account if they're not registered for more than one semester. Okay? That's real bright. So basically, and when they graduate, they lose all connections. You know, unless they've submitted an email or something, there's no connection to those students. Now, I graduated from Virginia Tech. I still have a Virginia Tech email address. I still get contact from them. And when it comes to giving, I'll probably give. I'm more likely. So this has bigger implications than just the department. We're talking now foundation. Those people should be just clamoring for these things like this. So Aaron put together this Ning site, and so the first primary thing was just keeping in touch with our students. Just being able to say, okay, instead of making a web page in Blackboard every semester in every class, let's just put it up one time. So I basically said, to the faculty, I said, let's just have our students put something up on Facebook, on Ning. And in my class, I said, I want you to put something on Ning. It's going to be a private site. We originally had it public, but don't do that. You'll have too much spam and junk coming through. But now it's a private site, and basically I said, unless you're a witness protection or you have a really good reason why you don't want to be on it, and I expect you to be on this site. Because again, we're trying to build connections between students. And so now, obviously I need to revisit that policy with some faculty and students, because we have a lot of those blank gray faces with no picture. So it's always nice to have some photos up there, and it's not a public site. So, well, I'll probably have to send out a little email with a nudge, and you have to do things like that. The other thing was connecting with our alumni. So we started. Now we have I think 248 students and alumni members of our Ning site, and that's becoming quite a powerful connection. So now we have alumni that are being a part of this. And sort of the third part of this Ning site is we're now connecting it to our curriculum. When Dr. Colorado has a webinar, again, goes back to the thing, if I host a webinar and I do it through my Blackboard course, and I say, okay, only my students can see it. Well, there's a lot of content in there that other people can see too, so why not advertise it out on our Ning site and let everybody else see it? So, of the webinars we have, maybe half the students are actually in the class, and the other half are outside of the class, maybe other students in our program. Alumni, we had alumni attend our webinars. So again, making it part of the curriculum, I think, is really important too. As you can see, we have a job board where when I get, and we're getting, again, through this network, I'm starting to get people that send me emails before they're actually posted saying, there's a job here, there's 2 jobs here. And so we can post those out to our students. We have other groups, a Second Life group, our Metro Learning Center has a group, and then people can make groups as they need to. Also, we have a forum. We have our IDT blog from Blogspot. Again, we didn't go with the university. And we've tied that to that, so we get the feeds from that blog into there. And again, you can see the promotion for this conference here. So again, a lot of people found out what we were doing. Our event last night at the Barley's Brew House, we put something out there so people know about it. In addition to, we still use a listserv. You know, we have quite a few on that. So we're hitting multiple places. I think we can move on. One thing about if you're not familiar with Ning, or you may or may not be, you know, they're not free anymore. They decided they couldn't make money giving it away, and so now they're charging. Well, our problem, which I think is a good problem, is I have too many members to qualify for the free one. So I will have to fork out a couple $100 a year for Ning, which to me is a great investment. You know. So it's not a problem with that. You know, academically, and it's being used academically and for all these other methods. So something else that we're starting to use YouTube. Again, I would love to put this on our YouTube EDU site, but we don't have one. Maybe I can put it on KU's or Fort Hays's if they let me. I don't know. But we take our master's project presentations. We have a culminating ending project at the end of the semester for our people that are finishing up, and we will videotape parts of that. We actually had segments of just show a little bit of that. This is a video that Zinni put together. I put one up first, and then she shamed mine by making a lot better one. So. But the nice thing, we can put this up the same day. So it's a nice, during the program, it's a graduate, but it's also and we have an online program that also has yeah, this is mine. So, yeah. What did you use for that? Yeah. I just used I'm a former director, so I had put something like that on there. So anyway, so we're able to promote, and we have quite a few videos, and we're also having our students put their master's projects, where they make a 5-minute master's project video, sort of covers what their topic was. They put it at their YouTube site, and now we're linking to that and bringing those in to our YouTube. So again, it's not just promotion, it's not just good warm fuzzies, but we're actually tying it to content, which I think is really, really important. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think that's good for that. And we are getting people from outside. We're getting people from other countries that are taking a look and looking at it. Another thing we do is we do an e-learning institute every year with our people from TCS and Media Services, and we've put those videos on. You know, they're in-service videos for faculty and some of those presentations. We're putting those on there. And, you know, again, from up above, I had somebody ask, well, why are we giving this away? You know, we paid X amount of dollars to put this on, and we're just putting it out there on the web for everybody to see. It's like, yeah. I mean, do you think people are going to pay for it? I don't think so. But now and then, so we've had at least one thing that we've made that we built it where they would go to it. And I think a really important thing about thinking is you have to build it where they are. And so we started thinking, well, we really need to have a presence on Facebook, because there are a lot of people on Facebook too. So Dr. Colorado put together a Facebook page for us, and we haven't promoted it a lot, and we don't have a lot of members on there yet, but once we really start pushing it, I think we'll have more. And again, the key is tying all this together, tying the content together, so that when we post something on Facebook, it's going to pop into Ning and all those other places. And you know, originally when we started this, Aaron Sumner did Ning. I did some of the administration. Now it's getting too big. You know, Zenny said, "Hey, do you want me to take over doing the Facebook?" I'm like, "Yes, please take over." And I think that's another key is now is I'm going to start putting things out there and saying, does someone want to be the manager of this site? Because I can't do it anymore myself, and faculty can't do it all themselves. So, you know, alumni, students, I think that's the key is getting those people involved. And Aaron has been great about it, still staying up. You know, he's graduated 2 or 3 years ago, and now he's still actively involved in our department, administering a Ning site, and I still have a great connection with him. So, as a matter of fact, because he created it, we have to get together sometime today and sit down with my credit card and pay for our Ning site, because I can't get in to do that. He still has ownership. So, oh, we have a question.
So, again, you know, we're having a hard time with our administration seeing the benefits of social media, and they have some concerns. So, their concerns may be similar to yours. We don't have to wait until you put the text message up. If you want to just raise your hand and let's discuss some of these. Does anyone have any concerns about social media? Yes. Good point. Yeah, it does take time. You can't just put up text all the time. People are expecting media too, videos, pictures. The more the better. The immediate, the better. So, for example, the graduation photos that Dr. Childers put up, he put those up the day of graduation. I didn't get to put up the other pictures I had of the presentations, which happened the day before, until that following day on Sunday. So
and I reminded her of that I did scoop her on that.
So the presentations are on Friday, but I didn't get the pictures posted until Sunday. If you look at the number of hits, he has, I think there's 280 hits on his video, and I have 82. So it does make a difference on how immediate your content is. It takes time. Yeah. And that is probably the main issue with our legal counsel, is that we've provided a video, we've created it, the university has created it, Summit University has created it, by uploading it to their site. They say that they own it. But that's okay in some respects. If it's for marketing, maybe you do want that video to go viral so more people see it. You kind of have to let go, or you have a Creative Commons type of copyright on it. You're willing to share this. Just give me some credit for it. Well, his question was, I can just repeat it, is how do you deal with the sites that are either disappearing or starting to charge, such as me?
I think it's you know what's going to happen, you know, and this is
Rob's only been on board for a couple of years, so and I'm going from an academic viewpoint. I trust Ning more with my data than I do my own university. Okay, I trust that Ning will be up more than I do our own people. And it's, I don't want to say that, but there's nothing keeping our, again, Rob had to work for months just to get our attorney to approve using Adobe Connect on campus. So it's a sad statement to say, but I don't trust our own university as much as I trust somebody that may not be there next week, because I think I have more faith in them. So I wish that weren't the case, but that is the case right now. So, and it's not a reflection on Rob, because Rob just supports us like crazy, but it's some of the other folks.
I would like to comment on what Rob had said. Zenny hit the nail on the head when she said there's an immediacy to the content that's put out on these sites. I don't care if Facebook owns something I put out there that's been out there for 6 months. It's not relevant. I mean, who wants to go back and look at pictures of those presentations that were made last year? Even the students who went out immediately and looked at them, I don't think they're linking to that so that their friends can go out and look. They've moved ahead. All of these sites, whether they survive or not, doesn't make any difference, because it's what's happening at the moment. That's the whole idea behind the social media, is get the content out quick, because once it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah, we had a discussion a while back about, Blackboard has a feature for Backpack, where you can actually download content, and we talked about this for a while at our institution, and there were people saying, well, I don't want my students to have my content on their computer because I own it, it's mine. My response to them was, well, I don't think, if you can put your stuff out there and sell it, I'd like to see what you could get for it. And because I don't think there's any content much that's worth selling that anybody's developed on campus. So, it's kind of like, sometimes I want to say, shut up and put it out there and let's see what it's really worth if you think it's that great. But again, if you really care and you really want to keep ownership of something, I'm the first person to say, don't put it out there, because somebody will grab it. But I would love to be able to say that everybody in this room loves my course enough to grab it and use it as their own. That'd be awesome.
Any other concerns from just in general here? Looking at some of the comments up here, and the content is an issue, definitely, or is a concern. And it does depend on your perspective and how much you want to control that. Sometimes letting go of the content is a good choice.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. Archiving old material and privacy. We come from a campus that has undergraduate students, and I have another presentation. I talk about Facebook, and I start off with showing photos of people from out there that put pictures on Facebook, and then I show pictures of our own students out there doing things on Facebook. And I've covered the eyes, and that doesn't work sometimes. I was doing a program for nursing, and actually they knew one of the people that was wearing a Rebel's grocery bag, and that's all he was wearing for his Halloween costume. So, that's an issue, and that's something, again, that we have to educate. We all have to be educated on, is that everybody's seeing it or can see it, and there is some creepy person out there downloading everything that's out there on his hard drive, probably, so we have to be aware of those things, and I think it's important to know those things.
So these are some of the ones that came out. We did this session at our own institution, by the way. And these were some of the concerns that came out of that session. And they are very similar to the concerns expressed here. Privacy, personal versus professional. You know, it really comes down to your behavior and again, teaching people how to separate those two if they want to, and how to be private. There are privacy settings in all of these different social networking tools that you can use. And you really just have to make sure you pay attention to those first before you start putting things out there. You have to be careful about what you put out there. And that's one of the things as our students are doing this, I mean, they're pretty much open about everything. And some of the things I've read about our new generation coming up is that people are concerned that our new generation seems to be a little too loose with their privacy. So we have to teach them, you know, what are some things that they should be keeping private. If, you know, they're going to go out for a job and they've posted some strange or obscene types of things on their Facebook page, is their profile public? Well, then they need to start looking at those things. So again, educating people. We are the ones who look at the content. We haven't had anything, anybody post anything obscene or inappropriate on our sites as of now.
Just a couple of faculty members, but
yeah. But we're the ones who have to moderate that. So if you do these things, you know, we don't have an employee who does this. But what's interesting is that more and more marketing types of groups, so say your Department of Marketing, are starting to hire specialists in social networking. If you search for the job social networking specialists or social media specialists, they're out there. So they're hiring people specifically to promote and disseminate information through the social networking tools, to moderate them. And there's one person in their department who does that the whole time.
Yeah, if you want to see a good example, like go to Southwest Airlines. I mean, they hit YouTube, they hit Twitter. They're very active and actually do a really good job of that.
And I heard on NPR the other day, I think it was just on my drive up here, that there are some organizations, actual bigger media, their job is to provide websites with the news and things like that, and they've made it so people can comment. They actually have groups of 5 or more in their marketing department that watch these comments to watch for inappropriate types of things, and they're quick to delete or remove. So there are people whose job it is just to watch these feeds. We don't have those kinds of resources. We have to do it ourselves, so it does take a lot of time. And the quality of content. Again, for us, we're doing a lot of it. We rely on some of our students to post their pictures. We were just taking pictures the other night as we were having a group of alumni and current students. So we're going to be posting those, but quality of content is an issue. Any other concerns?
You know, I think a key too, again, is you know, when you talk about appropriate use, we sort of get the, you know, our Ning site really is sort of, we treat it like an academic site. We treat it like a networking site, and so I think the roles are a little different. People are going to use Ning a little bit differently than they are Facebook, because again, Facebook's open to anybody and their friends and their family and things like that. But the Ning site that we put together is pretty much very academic, although, you know, there's personal things on there too. So Rob?
This is just kind of strange because we work in the same building, but I was going to ask some questions. But regarding the quality of content, just a question to ask you here. I think louder? Okay, sorry. If you were to put your marketing hat on for a minute, do you think it's better to have, say, video for the campus website to be produced by the video production person that has, you know, the full accoutrement of, you know, quality camera and transitions over, or is it okay to hand a flip cam to a student and go produce some gonzo video and throw that up? It's sort of the reason I ask is because this is a timely question.
Because that was a question that you know, our marketing person came to me. He's like, we don't have the resources to put up this glitzy video that X University did on YouTube EDU. And, you know, my answer would be, I don't think it matters. You know, I think for the official university things like that that are on the front page, I think that's probably a good idea for to have high production. But for a lot of this, I don't think it matters. I mean, you know, if you go look at YouTube and the #1 hits, they're not, most of them are not high production, you know. I think there's still an important place to have that. I'm saying this because our video guy's in the back of the room there, but there's a real important, that's an important thing to have. But again, if you look at the #1 hits on YouTube, almost none of those have been produced through really high quality video, you know, and production. I think that's important, but not as important as probably some of our marketing people think.
Yeah, and I'll agree. I think there's a place for both. More informal types of things can be done. And a lot of what we do is that way. We just post a lot of informal types of things to try and build that community.
But interestingly, our marketing department, the videos that they're putting up with their little informal videos that they shoot are done with a flip video camera that I loaned our marketing director. So I find that rather interesting. So, he still hasn't given it back.
Okay, well, just some strategies and best practices. Let's say you wanted to go out and start a Facebook page or a Ning site. Again, Ning is no longer free. But Facebook, I'm just going to go to a website now.
Yeah, before you go to that, like naming conventions, think that out. It's better to have all the similar names than having this one, that one. And so we had to go back and actually rename some things. But now we all have IDTESU.Ning, IDTESU this, and that helps a lot. I think it helps the students.
One thing you can start with, I mean, Facebook seems to be the most popular at this point in time, is you can actually create a page or a group. It kind of just depends on what you want to do. I created a page. We don't actually use this, just to see what the difference was between a group and a page in Facebook. And one of the benefits of having a page, again, this is not public, is that once you have 25 friends for your page, you then have a user account that is ESU IDT. You get your own user account. You don't have to use your personal one or something like that. So, for example, if I wanted to tie an IDT Twitter account to my Facebook page, then I could use the IDT Facebook username and not my own. So that's one of the biggest benefits to a page. To do that, you would go to, in Facebook, right here, you have ads and pages and groups. If you wanted to add a group, you'd click there, pages. The one thing about pages is, again, the agreements that you have to agree to is it says that you are the person who represents this institution. So if I wanted to, and this may sound a little scary, if I wanted to create an ESU, Emporia State University Facebook site, and I create this page, and I do it myself, that wouldn't be the right thing to do, because at our university, it has to be legal counsel or the person who has that right. So I've created an instructional design technology department page. I hope I represent IDT. So I said yes. We also have Phi Delta Kappa. We're getting ready to publish a Facebook page here. So you can do that. Once you basically create a page here, and it gives you different settings. And once you get in there, the settings is the first thing you see. You have settings, wall settings, and again, this leads to your status, privacy, what types of things you want posted on your wall. Mobile, do you want to tie it to a mobile phone so that you can just text your updates? Applications, you have discussion boards, you have events, so you can put a calendar in there. Links, notes, photos, video. And of course, there are lots of apps that you can integrate into your Facebook account. So you can do all this in Ning. It just depends on which social networking tool you want to use. You can also here set how many admins you have. And so right now I'm the only admin, and I can add others so that they can add content. And one of the questions I had in our previous session when we did this was, so how many admins do you have? Who controls the content that gets put up there? At this point in the game, we don't have enough content that we're putting up there that we have to figure out what's good and what's bad, and no, you can't put up that content, that kind of thing. So we kind of just let everybody do their own thing. We assume everything is appropriate and all of that good stuff. But I think as you have more traffic, as you have more content, the more admins you have, probably the less order you have. So again, yes. There might be something to that, especially if you have some other privacy settings that she just can't find you. So for example, for me, I have things pretty locked down. So I can only, people who see me have to be friends of friends, and that's it. So you can't search for me and find me. Right. Right.
So I have a question for you. Does anybody know what the next big thing's going to be for things like this? Because if I know ahead of that time, I can be planning for it now. Yeah. Yeah, and also I noticed that Google Wave is now, so they've stopped development on that, and they're not going to support it anymore. It'll probably go away someday. And I understand that Google's moved their entire team in Australia from Google Wave onto a social networking site that they're going to make as a competitor with Facebook. So I'd be watching for that, because if it's like the rest of Google, it's going to take off.
So we'll go ahead and start wrapping up. There are other tools that you can use, and if we had some more time, we'd probably go into some of the basics on how to get those things started. Are there any questions or other things you'd like to talk about? Well, thank you for your time.
Go eat lunch.